Episode of the Knights of Teleria, and I am so glad we have everybody here today. We are just waiting for Mr. Nacho to kind of rate us from his Twitch channel, and we will be having him on. But in the meantime, let me introduce the rest of our guests. I have to my right, or my right, something like that. Mr. JR Star 3. Jay, how are you doing, sir?
Doing pretty good, man. It's been pretty crazy 2 weeks, back-to-back sickness, a lot of things going on in Raid as well, up and downs with the community. But overall, been doing pretty good, man.
All right. And we just had Mr. Nacho rate us with 42 people. Nacho, thank you, sir. And we got, wow, okay. We're going to try to pay attention and get every one of these follows acknowledged. We got Mr. Okay. I'm going to wait a second before we start doing that. We got Mr. MXPJE, who is another Twitch streamer, fellow content creator. Make sure you guys go follow him over on his channel. Let's continue with introducing everybody today. I have on the top left, I really have to work on my pointing skills. We have the one, the only Mr. FinalKenpachi. Kempachi, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm also got very hard week. I was very sick last 1 week. I'm getting a little bit better, still not 100%. Thank you so much for having me and the adjust time for me, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you for joining us. Yeah, hopefully, you're getting better.
Thank you.
The voice is the number one thing that we all need here, right? Without our voice, we can't be streaming. Right underneath you, we have Mr. Gestal Gaming. Gestal, how are you doing, sir?
Doing great, Blazin. What's going on, buddy?
Doing good. So for anybody out there who is wondering, we're actually streaming the show both on Twitch and YouTube this week. I managed to finally get it working. And so if I don't reply to everybody's comments right away, we will be responding to them. I'm trying to keep up both with the Twitch and YouTube chat. So we're going to give Nacho a second here to come back and join us. But in the meantime, let me ask you guys, how has your week been? We've had a couple of things going on this week. And, shard pulls, everything. What have you guys been doing this week? Let's start with Jay.
So I was saving a lot of shards, but then that Newt 10x, man. I was like, well, I didn't go for the prism. I wasn't gonna spend money on that. But this, I was like, you know what? I can actually double dip, and also I was using a lot of energy as well. So I did a lot. I kind of broke the CC agreement in terms of not content creator, but like credit card. I didn't want to use it, but honestly, it was worth it actually. I got myself a second Newt. I got myself a second Kira on my way to Lady Mikage,
Nice.
and put about 20,000 energy into speed gear for the 3x, and got myself 2 new pieces. Now I've reached a personal record of 380 plus speed on my champion, so that's pretty good.
Nice. Which champion is that?
I'm using Kaj as a ride right now.
Okay. Nacho, I think you have yourself muted, sir. We can't hear you. I don't know if you were saying something.
Yeah. I just didn't want like all my little tiny noises to come through. So
Okay. Let's go ahead with FinalKenpachi. What have you been doing this week?
I mean, I tried to survive, to be honest. I tried to stream because I don't want to break my non-stream stuff, So even Isaac, I didn't do any Tenix pull, no. I still saving my Mercy for the Taras Tenix, still waiting for that. So Akrize, I'm sorry. And yeah, maybe tomorrow I'm gonna try some secret, maybe some ancient for the Xena. Finger crossed.
Okay. Gestal, what about you? What have you been up to this week?
Yeah, it was mostly CVC. Pulled the new couple to get the 60k from that, and built them up. But yeah, didn't pull any shards. I'd love to be pulling shards on a lot of these events, but 10x's don't thrill me anymore, and I don't know. There wasn't really any. The only thing I would have really liked was the Shuzen, I guess, but I didn't have many voids, so didn't think going for it.
Okay. Nacho, what about you? What have you been up to this week?
More Hydra stuff. All I do is Hydra, basically Hydra and gear cleanses these days. It seems like, some Fire Knight Hard in there every once in a while, you know. But yeah, mostly just working on some more Hydra teams for my clanmates and stuff. So.
Okay. So myself, I've had kind of I guess kind of an exciting week. I ended up getting a new route, so my work schedule's kind of changed. So now I work from like 8:45 to 8:45, which is not fun. Probably why you guys haven't seen a lot of videos being uploaded. It's been mainly focused on the weekends. But as for in-game, I'm sorry, I did do what Jay did and got myself the Kira. And yeah, I'm now the official owner of a Lady Makaj. She is no longer glowing in my portal. Did you guys get a chance to summon her yet? Gestal?
No, I actually just need the Castigator from this Ice Golem tourney that launched today, and then I'll be able to fuse her. But I'm gonna wait, man. It's 60,000 points to get a new mythical champ there in CVC, so I'll probably wait till first rewards to build her or to pull her. So, but I'm there.
Okay. Jay, what about you?
I'm still missing. Well, I had these rares, but I fed them during a champion training. But because I had them for so long, so I was like, man, I need chickens. But eventually, hopefully, I need to get myself adamantine skeleton, and I think it's centurion. Those are the only two rares that I'm missing, but they're void rares. So hopefully, I should get them soon.
Okay. Ken, what about you?
I'm missing 2 epic champion, both of them on the event, but I looked the event and it doesn't look like how to say that easy to get this epic. Then I think about the Mikage. Do I need her? Yes, I need her on my waifu collection, but beside that, like, I don't even have a mythical book. What I'm gonna do with her? You know, she can be wait a little bit. No reason to spend resources at the moment, so I'm gonna skip.
Okay. Nacho, what about you?
So, if you've been following my stream, I fed all 4 of the epics for Tatsu, Renan, and Lockwayne the week before they released this fusion. And I have a Kira that I would yeet into the moon. So, I'm still 2 epics away from getting it. I still need 2 of the ones for Tatsu because I didn't feel like doing the champ training thing. But I'm not too concerned about it. I actually pulled 1 of them today, so I could push for a second one. I got 1 already out of the event. I could push for a second one out of the event right now, but there's no way I'm pushing for the third one. They want too many points.
Yeah, it is quite a bit. It is quite a bit. I can't lie. All right. So let me acknowledge some of the chat here. We got Mr. Happy 420 in the chat. We got Smokey over on YouTube joining us. We got Mr. Ace Gonzo also joining us. Thank you for joining us, sir. We do have Ogre over on YouTube who's watching us there. We have Mr. Pogo Pink Tie, who is actually another fellow UPSer out there over in Never Eating Soggy West Coast. We've got Mr. Being Useless over watching us on YouTube. Spicy Brown Mustard watching us over on Twitch. We've got Ccon watching us over on YouTube or Twitch. Sorry. So we've got a lot of things to talk about this week. But before we get into the show, let's talk about a question that was actually asked to me by one of the viewers, Steven Rule, whose account that I usually do a lot of work on. And he wants to know, when you guys aren't playing Raid or doing Raid content, what do you guys do for fun? Let's start with Ken first.
I mean, usually playing different games. And for fun, I mean, if I am at the home, sometimes
That's what I
going
was gonna
outside, touching the grass, and yeah, if I have a girlfriend or something like that, I would like to spend some time, but sadly, no. So on a
Okay.
PC.
So playing other games. Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Let's go with Jay. Jay, what do you like to do for fun outside of Raid?
So actually, I'm a huge fan of RPGs, right? Clearly, right? So I play like anything that requires me to, do a little bit of math, gearing, playing characters. So I do like to play League. I play Baldur's Gate. I like to play other RPGs as well, more like indie games and stuff like that. Sometimes I come across I'll play like a Nintendo Switch or maybe like a AAA game on on Steam or something like that. But that's mostly what I do.
Okay. Nacho, what about you? What do you like to do outside of Raid?
Man, y'all a bunch of boring motherfuckers, I swear. I go golfing, I go bowling, like we go out there, I go walk with my dogs in the woods behind my house. Like I play Baldur's Gate, I'm starting a greenhouse with my buddy over on his farm. Like all kinds of shit you can go do. I'm a bunch of boring guys.
Okay. All right. We're gonna circle back to that greenhouse thing real quick. I'm curious to find out if you're growing tomatoes or cucumbers. But Gestal, what about you? What do you do outside of Raid for fun?
Well, I do play lots of video games as well. I've been playing Smite for like 10 years, and I keep playing it. It's a fun game for me. I'm
Okay.
playing Baldur's Gate with Nacho at the moment, but I mean, I don't know. Other than that, yeah, I mean, hang out with the dog and hang out with the wifey, man. Just do stuff with them. We go to
Okay.
There's a dog beach down in Long Beach that we take the dog down to. It's normally a good time for him, man.
Okay. So for myself, I love gaming, always have, but the one thing I really like doing is building things. I love construction. So, when I'm not playing Raid or doing creation, I'm usually either demoing something or rebuilding something like my house. So I pretty much, but I hate the nitty gritty stuff like the finish work. I really hate that. Give me a sledgehammer, give me a saw. I got that. But let me put the door trim on. No, let someone else do that. Now back to that nacho thing. What are we growing, sir?
Flowers and vegetables. It's literally a fucking greenhouse. Y'all think I'm like all like, oh, weed.
Well, hey,
No, like we're literally growing flowers for flower baskets and arrangements and people's
cool.
houses and stuff like that. And then we're gonna work that into vegetable starts and shit like that. And then eventually, long term, we're gonna hopefully turn into a big tree farm. Actually, a lot of trees take like 5 to 10 years to mature into a state that you can actually sell them. So my buddy's got 60 acres and whatnot. So we're gonna hopefully start specializing in all of that.
Nice. Okay. All right. So this week we had a lot of things going on, right? Like we had the battle pass, we had the coin event, and there seems to be a lot of drama, especially behind the battle pass. Were you guys playing with the original battle pass was around, Jay?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was probably like 6 months before that. That's when I started.
Okay. Nacho, what about you?
Nah, man, I started during Vlad.
Okay. Gestal, what about you? Were you around with the first battle pass?
Yeah, I think I started right when it came out. That's the first thing I scooped up.
Okay. Ken, what about you? Were you playing around the first battle pass?
Yeah, same with Jay. I've been there before, even before that.
Okay. So 50-50. We've kind of seen what the battle pass, what the previous one was, right? And when we saw this coming out with the Forge Pass, we were kind of excited because a lot of players were like, "Ooh, we saw what was there before," and not the same. now they released this one, and this one is, God, let's just say was not rolled out the right way, right? So let's start off with Jay. Have you purchased or thinking about purchasing the Forge Pass? Or not the Forge
Yeah,
Pass,
I got
sorry,
a day
the
one.
battle,
I tested
the Battle
out
Pass.
Miss. Yeah, so I got a day one and I tested out already. I'm not gonna go with the whole name, but yeah, Xena. But yeah, basically, yeah, I tested her out, showed her off to the people in the Twitch chat, kind of just because I don't have a test server, right? So I have to kind of like show her all that way. Could I waited? Yeah, probably should have waited till 40. Is she worth the 40? We can keep talking about that, but that's a whole nother discussion. But yeah, I got her. I like her. But she's very niche. She's kind of like a live arena kind of champion to counterpick like Siffies or Duchess or something like that. But overall, when you start to look at her, which we'll probably look later on in the stream, but I'll talk about that later.
Okay. Gestal, what about you?
I will be getting it. I have not yet.
Okay. I know it's a dumb question, but Ken?
No, I didn't. I can't. I mean, I love to get her, but I can't. I promised to people my account gonna stay $14, and unless they release a Lilith from Diablo 4, I like to keep my promise.
Okay. Okay. Nacho, what about you?
Yeah, of course I got her already. Come on.
Okay. Okay. I have not yet. We actually got Mr. Jarec Gaming coming in real quick, so we'll continue talking while I fix this. Now, I don't know, man. Like, I feel it probably could have been rolled out a little bit better, but let's start with the rewards. Were these rewards really worth, compared to the Forge Pass, let's say, were they really worth it? Let's start off with Mr. Gestal first.
The Forge Pass or the Battle
So,
Pass?
well, let's compare. So the Forge Pass, we get a pretty good, return on
Oh,
investment
like the
for what we
rewards
get.
on the bottom
Right,
of the Forge Pass?
right. Are they worth what we, would invest in for this?
Honestly, yeah, I mean, I would say the Forge ones are significantly better. The ones on the Battle Pass were a million times better. But I was also just starting the game out when it came out, so anything helped me at that point. But yeah, I don't know. To me, I don't even care about the rewards. To me, this is like they called it the champ pass. Like this is all about the champ. Everything else is just whatever.
Okay.
I don't, it's not, they're not good. I'm not trying. I wish it was better. I wish they had nicer stuff on there. I wish there wasn't stupid Plarium point stuff there, but, it's a 6-star speed lift would have been way better than a 5-star or stuff like that, but whatever. That to me isn't really, it's not going to sway me one way or the other.
Okay. Okay. Now, I did have somebody that made a comment about this event, and before let me stop losing track. Let's go with Nacho. Nacho, were these rewards worth the investment?
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, you're not gonna get a top tier nuker. Like she's easily a top 20 nuker in the game instantly. Even if she doesn't do a ton of damage, she's requiring your opponent to build around her. If you pick her, if they don't build around her, you win. That's strong. Okay. A lot of people are discrediting that entirely. Like they're saying, "Oh, well, you could just do this to beat her." I'm like, "Well, yes, you can, but now I can bait you into certain strategies, especially in a live arena situation if I pick her soon, right?" So like that's strong. She is a bannable nuker for a ton of people. So absolutely worth the value. There's very few things in the game that you can do to get a champion for $40, honestly. Fusions, I mean, those are some of the best champions that people can get. And so I'd say
Okay.
absolutely worth it.
Okay. Let's go with Jay. Jay, do you think these rewards were worth it?
Man, I didn't feel them at all. I got it, like I said, I got it day one, and I didn't feel anything. Like, you know, they should have just been like a 6-star speed glyph, multiples. Why one? Not like even other content creators have said, like, why don't we just get like a bundle, like at least 5, right? What are you gonna do with one glyph? Like it's yeah, and then a lot of the cruel gear, yeah, it's nice, but what's the chance of you getting the specific thing you want too? For let's say a new player or someone who's mid game, right, and they buy it, would it be good? It'd be okay. It's still not as crazy as like a Forge Pass or other rewards. It's just extra little goodies, but it's not. I didn't feel anything at all. I just wanted it because of the champion. Do I think she's worth 40? I do think she is, but there's if you have a lot of a different variety of champions already, like nukers, she's not going to be your main one. She's kind of like a sneaky pick. That's pretty much all. So you have to ask yourself, is that important for your account? Otherwise, probably not worth anything.
Okay. Now that we got Jarec on, Jarec, what about you? Did you purchase the Forge Pass yet?
Yes, that was pretty much as soon as it came out, mate. I was all over that.
Okay. Now, do you think the rewards were worth it?
I think the champ is worth it. As I've said on the videos that I did regarding the pass itself, I think the stuff that is on the bottom row is like a bonus stuff. You know, it's freebies. It's just there to pad it out. You know, you can't get something of that quality as easy as that. You know, and as cheaply as that in the game. So I don't know how. Sorry, because I know Buddy just jumped in. I don't know how much of a conversation you've had about this yet, but in this game, and this is how you got to look at it. You got to look at it as this is what's in the game, and what can I get for that in the shop at any point in time. And as soon as it came out, you could go to the shop and you saw, was it 4, 3? I can't remember what it was. 2, 3, 4 sacred shards, a bit of silver. And it was like $70-$80, and you think, oh, I can get this with all. Okay, fine, not amazing stuff, right? But still, what you're paying in comparison to anything else that's going to be in that shop at any time, except for probably the monthly pack, is nowhere near as good as what you're going to get in this. And that's how I see it, and that's how I think people need to look at it. And that's it.
So for myself, I mean, I kind of look at these rewards and I'm like, no. But then one of my viewers actually pointed out where he's like, listen, it's $40 for a legendary champion, which I'm sure we can all agree that the one thing Plarium values too much is their legendary champions, right? And the fact that they're giving it to you at a $40 cost, they're, essentially losing money. But the thing is, again, this is what was pointed out to me, but the thing is, it's still going to take over time to, get her. And the one thing about Xena is she's not going to be able to be summoned through any normal events. You have to wait for a 10x. And we all know that a 10x is a scam event, right? Or at least that's pretty much what we all say. Let's see.
Can I say my opinion? You missed
Yeah. Go ahead. Oh, I missed
so
it. I'm sorry.
Okay, no worries. $40 worth for the single champion. Hell no! You can get Elden Ring $60. You can get Baldur's Gate 3 $60. But it's a mobile game, and some reason mobile games are so expensive. For the in-game price, this in-game price, $40 for that champion is worth it. Yes, it is. How is that work? I mean, how many secret shard you guys can purchase with $40? I don't know. Can you guys tell me?
I think like 1.5.
Two.
Probably 2 if you're lucky. Yeah.
And you think you are gonna get something good from this 2 secret shard? Good luck with you. So this is a guarantee champion. She's very decent. She's very good. She's special against like Sify team. She's doing fantastic job because she's literally cutting. Like she's more than that, to be honest. Like I see. Never mind. We are probably gonna talk more stuff in the future. But yes, she's worth it. $40 in-game price.
Okay.
I would like to say.
Okay.
Can I just say? I mean, I think if you're a spender in this game, and this comes up, there shouldn't be any question that you
Yeah.
get it.
I
mean,
if you already purchasing shard in this game, if you already accept the shard price on this game, you probably don't have a right to talk about this champion price.
But that's it, and that's why. I mean, I wasn't attacking like MTT Jedi, right? Because he posted about it, right? And he was like, "Oh man, is this it? Is this rubbish? Blah blah." And I was like, "Mate," said you quite happily, and I've seen it on his videos. You quite happily spent $500+ on prism shards with a tiny chance of getting any one of say 6 champs that some are good, some bad. But without even a second thought, he was just like, bang, getting them. Nope, no good. Bang, getting them. No good, no good. And then this comes up and it's like, oh, man, it's no good. This is rubbish. This is crap. The rewards are crap. It's like, dude, you've literally just spent $500+ on stuff. And I think on your last 10 pull, you managed to get a champ. And you're moaning about $40 for a guaranteed new champion and all this stuff. I said, mate, I don't understand it. And it's again, someone has said it in, I think it was Kenpachi's chat actually on his video, that it's kind of CCs have, I don't know, hyped it up to then be able to neg it in a follow-up video to kind of pull in some views and to get that kind of, I'm on the bandwagon, let's just slate it for a bit, just for a bit of clout. I don't know, I honestly saw it and nothing blew me away, but I knew for what you're going to get, it's good, it's worth it, and that's how I have to see it. And I think anyone that moans about it shouldn't really be able to say a single word about it.
I mean, I also made a video yesterday about this drama. Like people, it's really hard to understand people sometimes, especially the content creator. They are like making drama videos. Bro, they give us Wukong literally like a couple of months ago, and I asked on my chat, guys, which one you guys prefer, Wukong or the Xena? And almost everybody say Wukong. And they give us this champion. Literally, you just need to log in the game. Even my alt account, which is I'm not even playing. Wukong, I mean. Like, they give us lots of great daily legendary champion lately, and now you are getting upset because Xena $40. I mean, sure, look, I'm not going to purchase, I'm with you. I'm not going to purchase her. I'm going to try to get her on my pool, but again, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, surely there's some licensing costs they might have to cough up, and there's obviously all things that's going to factor into it. It's probably might be a percentage of revenue they've got to pass back to whichever studio owns the rights to Xena. You know what I mean? So, obviously, yeah, people will compare it to the previous one, which I didn't get. I can't remember why I didn't get it or what was going on at the time, but everyone said it is really good, and admittedly, fair enough, the champ wasn't great at the end, but what you got was apparently really good and for the value. But it was 2 years ago, 2+ years ago. There's all sorts of things. There's inflation. There's all sorts of valuation things that are going to affect cost. And this is it. And I don't know. I just feel that sometimes people are just so fickle, and they just like to moan for the sake of moaning, But
by the way, previous Battle Pass reward was Wurlim, guys. And it was before they buff it. So it's not even cost $1, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like Frozen Banshee was like the best thing, wasn't she?
Yeah, Frozen Banshee was there, and I was it wasn't ever.
I think Stag Knight was in there too, no?
Yeah. Stag Knight was definitely worth it.
It was amazing back in that day, guys. We wasn't ever that too much alternative, back in that day, especially on the epic and rare wise. They was amazing.
So this is my main complaint against this, is that they've kind of kept themselves in a reverse price anchoring situation, because they've given us so many free champions like Ronda, UDK, Wukong, and things like that. And they also did the other Forge passes at $20. So when it came out above $20, everyone was instantly like, oh, a champion that costs more than $20 are free? That's scam. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, it's actually pretty good value. People just are so accustomed to getting free champions now.
That is true.
It's exactly what happened.
Everyone was just thinking this is going to be a next log-on champ. Can't wait to get it. And then it's like, actually, what you want? I've got to stump up some money for that. No, it's outrageous. It's like, well, mate, they're a company. Of course, they're going to have to eventually start charging you for things, and this is actually reasonably priced for once. So, what are you going to say?
Just real quick, the IPs, both for this and the other entity that owns it, are different, right? This Xena Warrior Princess is a different IP address, different IP. Just so everybody knows, we're not. They didn't partner up with anybody or anything like this. It's a total different IP. So we've been actually the official content creators have been warned about what we can and cannot say because there's just so much stuff. So for anybody out there who's wondering, did they pony up something? No, it's just a total different IP. Now let me ask you guys, looking at this, so it seems like the community definitely has the right to be upset about how this was rolled out. I feel like we could have definitely had this way better than what it currently is, right? We could have had, instead of the sacred shard as the reward for reaching it to stage 25, which, let's be quite honest, the quests to get him done are kind of a joke. So you're eventually, after 25 days, going to get a free sacred shard, but that's pretty much it after that. The pass doesn't do anything else, and apparently the pass is going to be around until, I think it's February, if I'm not mistaken. So it really serves no purpose after that.
You can purchase her until January 4th. The pass will be around and completable until February 4th because you can buy it on January 4th, and you have to have time to complete it.
So January 4th. Okay. So again, the pass is 25 levels. Now the previous pass had so much more you could do, and it wasn't as easy to complete. Now, do you guys think they could have implemented this in a better way to kind of get, like some of the other games I've played have like the pass for a 3-month type thing where, you can achieve goals to get certain other, skins or stuff like that in the game. Do you guys think they should have approached it that way and made it more of a longer term, or just keep it like the 25 days? After 25 days, you're pretty much golden? Because then I kind of feel like, at least for me, it's a ripoff because I've got nothing after that. So let's start with Nacho first, since, you've got a lot of input.
Go for it, Jarec. You got something. I can see.
No, sorry. I'm sorry. No. Please, go on. I can wait, man. It's fine. It's fine. Go on. You go. Yeah. I'm like, ugh. I've been all polite as well. I was like, me.
I don't even know what Blazing asked anymore. I just sit there.
Sorry, dude. Go on.
Oh, what did you even ask, Blazing?
All right, so the first
Jarec's here.
The first pass had a lot more things going on with it, right? It wasn't completable in 25 days. And a lot of the other games have the same thing.
Okay.
So
the biggest complaint I see across most games with Battle Pass, and I've seen in D4, is that Battle Passes don't pay for the next Battle Pass. If you pay for the one, there's no way to work towards the next one. There's some games that do it, like Call of Duty and whatnot, but the number one complaint is that you get absolutely no progress towards at least them in some degree. And even Diablo 4, they ended up doing scammy things where they were like, yeah, after 3 of them, you should be able to buy one, but then you're going to be 2 coins short or 3 coins short or something like that. So like they checked you on that end too. That's the number one complaint. Having a short battle pass isn't a problem. I think having a flexibility period where people can like hum it over and think like, oh hey, maybe I want this champion. I'll watch other people build this champion first, see if she's worth the $40 for me. You know what I mean? Because a certain amount of people are just gonna buy it on the spot, right? Like you'll see the champion get used. All the content creators are gonna get it just to show her off. You know what I mean? They're gonna make more than $40 on it, etc., etc. So like, people are gonna see the content and, like having that time frame that you can say, okay, well I didn't miss out on the first 2 weeks. I know I'm gonna be able to finish it still is important. Like you have to have some leeway both ways, especially in a gacha game. If it's like Call of Duty where they're like, yeah, there's a skin this month. If you want to do it, start on day 1, you can get it on day 30. That's a little different, I guess. But in this game in particular, it's not a skin. You know what I mean? It's not just a reskin of something that you can have in the game still. It's the only way to get the fucking champion. So in general, I'm pretty okay with it not being 3 months long. So
yeah. Just real quick, I want to acknowledge Scratch Plays just joined us. Thank you very much, sir, for stopping by. We appreciate that. Actually, one of my most favorite content creators out there, and has like the cutest baby. Have you guys seen his baby? I just, and his baby has got the ultimate passive. Just looks at you and nukes everything.
Instant sleep.
know?
It's like,
But yeah, all right. So, Jay, what about you? What do you think, man? Could they have rolled this out a little bit better instead of the short, 25 days?
Well, what I'm seeing is that since they're losing a lot of people, maybe they were trying to get something that's not as long, so people don't feel like, oh, I have to play this long. They want to get people in, get invested sooner, maybe spending at least, so that way they're already accustomed and they might want to continue doing it next month. If something is too long, then they feel like they're getting milk longer. So maybe it's kind of like a burst thing where they can just invest, already be one step closer to now wanting to invest each month or a little bit something else into the game. So it's a way to kind of like break maybe even free to play people who might be like, whoa, I don't have to buy all these shards. I could just get the champion I want. I'm already invested now. Now you're considered a spender. So maybe that's why they're doing it shorter. But I don't mind personally. I've been playing this game a long time, so it doesn't matter if they do it longer or short. It doesn't really affect me. I'd still do it. So.
Okay. Ken, what about you?
Man, I really hate like this battle pass, forge pass, whatever they are quest. Like use the magic champion, blonde hair, like red nail on the campaign fight, stuff like that. So for me, short is better, to be honest. But in the other thing is like we don't know their deal. Maybe the deal they made with the Universal is like in the limited time. Maybe they cannot make it longer. So maybe it's part of the deal. Again, like we don't know the detail. So again, like for me, it doesn't really matter. Short, long, both of them same.
Okay. Gestal, what about you? What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. Time frame's fine. I don't comparing this to the battle pass. I feel like isn't necessarily, they're not like one for one, right? I think they changed the name on purpose. Like this is gonna be their champion pass. It's basically all about getting the champion. So obviously, the quicker you can get it, the better. In my opinion, like out of spite, I decided not to spend the extra $20 to get it. So.
I think the reason they changed the
Oh wait.
I think the reason they changed the name Battle Pass because the first time and the last time they released Battle Pass, they banned the people who purchased Battle Pass. So I think they turned to
Yeah.
forget
Well,
that.
I think they just didn't want people to think it was going to be the same thing. So,
Okay.
because it's clearly not. It's clearly not.
Okay. Let's go. Jarec, what about you? What do you think, man?
do you know what? Literally, it's the first time I've noticed it actually says Champion Pass, not Battle Pass as well. Yeah, I think the time frame's fine. I mean, the challenges might change. The challenges might change up as it goes on, but log into game, use 52 of it it's a bit naff, but it's just I think it's just doing that just so you do get the champ. But I'm hoping, and I'm thinking maybe the time frame's right. I'm thinking that at the end of these 25 days, that's when the new content's going to drop. I think that's why it's a short one, roughly the month, which kind of fits in, I think, to what people have been saying that it's coming soon. So I think they've just snuck in a very short little event, gauge where people are, gauge if people are spending and what they're doing, the activity, and then I think they're going to drop the new stuff December for the new thing, the big update. That's my view.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it definitely looks like they're going to be dropping it very, very soon. I mean, they have to. They said this year we're down to what? Today's the 12th. We're down to 6 weeks.
Next
maybe
week.
7. Next week? You think
Yeah.
so?
Yep.
Okay.
Mhm.
And yeah, I mean, so my thing is I really don't like unless they're going to just do it like a month-to-month thing, which I could see them testing it out this way and then saying, hey, instead of doing fusions, we might do this where, you get a free. I mean, we did complain that we lost our sacred shard from the 30-day login, and they're kind of giving it to us in this one, right? And it again, the quests on it are kind of a joke. Use 100 energy, use 50,000 silver, and log into the game. I think that's all things everybody does within the first 5-10 minutes of playing the game, right? So if it was a monthly thing, I could get behind it. But I would really have loved to seen it be a lot longer. I would really love to just see, a 2-3 month thing where, we can get skins, we can get different champions, and not just, let's show love towards the free-to-play community, because it does look, which we'll touch up on in a second here, that the free-to-play community is kind of getting a big FU, right? And the reason for that is because Xena's only going to be able to be summoned from 10x's, which is kind of a rip, right? It is kind of a rip. You can't summon her from regular, 2x events or just a random shard pull. You have to summon her on the 10x. Do you think that's right? Let's go with Nacho first.
No. It's a bunch of bullshit. That's what it is. Like, come on. Like, I've said it along a lot of times. It's okay to have high point requirement events, like this Mikage, like the Path event going on right now. Realistically, they said, okay, let's do a Kira event. We'd like to include the other epics, but we don't want to make people feel excluded if they only need these 2 epics. So they included all 4 of the other epics in there. That's fine. But to complete it, it's like 65 fucking sacreds. It's stupid. All right? It's just absolutely stupid. Like, nobody's going to do it. But it is a way for people to finish their Mikage fusion, right? So if they were... I know MXPJE right now, he has 80 sacreds, completely free to play. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he wanted to, he could finish the event, let alone the other shards that he has or the energy that he could put in. And I know a lot of free-to-play players that have a good stock of shards and could do an event like that if they really wanted to. But is it worth them, especially for a permanent fusion? No. But they need to have something like that for Xena. You know what I mean? To not have a Xena event even for 40 frickin' sacreds or something obnoxious is just stupid. Just completely stupid. A 10x event, they don't exist. Like, it's literally under a 1% chance to pull the 10x champion. Like, people pull on 10x's when they're like near Mercy and it's like a Duchess or something that's really gonna change their account, and they're probably gonna do it like 10-15 times before they actually get that champion that they really, really want. You know what I mean? So it's just a scam. It's stupid.
Okay. Let's go with Nacho. Not Nacho. Kenpachi next.
No, it's not cool, to be honest. Like, they can say that, hey guys, like, you cannot pull her during her event, which is they already doing lots of the champion like that. Like, Wukong was one of them. We recently start pulling Wukong from the shard, but like making champion exclusive on the 10x. I mean, if they say that, hey guys, this champion gonna be exclusive on the 50x, like, to get something from that X, it has to be start at least from 50x. Because each time they release a legendary champion, your chance of getting specific champion from the 10x event is keep getting lower and lower and lower. And 10x exists since the game exists, I think. And let's say game, whenever it's released, it has like 100 legendary. Now I'm just going to throw the number 400 legendary. It's not the same rate, 400 legendary. And yeah, I mean, and if I know the Polarium, during her 10x event, they are not going to release any other thing. Just 10x for her. No extra shard event, no like 2x with that. So, if we free to play, if you cannot spend money on this game, and if you really want this lady, good luck. I recommend it save your sacred shard for her 10x instead of the ancient. And yeah, good luck. It's not cool.
Gestal, what about you?
Yeah, this is by far my biggest gripe with this. Obviously, I have my free-to-play account that's 16, 17 months old, and sacreds are too important for me on that account to do fusions and stuff. Like I can't be throwing them at the 10x events for. And as everyone said, the 10x is a joke. So this is by far my biggest gripe about this. I don't understand why there isn't at least like some way to be able to do this free to play. I think the speed up to get it, or make it expensive, or in terms of resources to get it is fine. But just to flat out not be able to get it without spending money, yeah, that burns, man. That does burn.
Jarec, what about you? What do you think?
I've got a bit of a controversial opinion on it, really.
The only content creator that supports the 10x right here.
It's not just the 10x, right? But it's almost the feeling of, and no offense meant to anyone, but the feeling of entitlement. Okay, this is a free to play game and you can play it for free, but there's no reason, or nowhere does it say that they will ever put out anything that is not exclusive to or behind a paywall. There's nothing that says that anywhere. And the fact that you've got that top line on that champion pass, right? And you get a few, 6-star bits, nothing great, but it's sacred. I remember when we first started this game out, a sacred shard was like the best thing you could get ever. You couldn't wait to get that on your your days when you're ticking it off, or at Christmas. You couldn't wait for that Christmas pack from Plarium where you get your free sacred shard for playing the game. But now suddenly that's not good enough. Oh, we've got all this free stuff, but it's not good enough. Oh, we hate Plarium. Oh, down with it. It's like, hang on a minute, mate. You're playing the game for nothing. These guys are sitting there developing all this stuff, spending hours and hours, spending money, creating this business to do this stuff for you to play on your commute, when you get up, when you're eating your breakfast, or when you're meant to be doing your homework, or whatever it is. You're doing this and expect everything for nothing. Why? What gives you that right to say, I deserve to get that champ? Nowhere. Do you know what I mean? So stop pissing and moaning, free to players, right? If you want to play free to play, that's your choice, okay? And I know there's circumstances that mean some people can't, and I totally get that. But it doesn't mean that just because there is something behind a dollar value that you cannot get, that means you're allowed to start going out with your pitchforks and the torches and banging on people's doors about it. That's my opinion.
Can I say something to Jarec?
What? Go ahead.
But it's
No,
true.
no,
I'm sorry, but that's 100% true.
No, I 100% agree with you. Each time I see like +4 Georgette with full essential stuff like that, I'm like, oh man, thank you for your spending. Because of you, I can play free to play and can still smack you.
It is true though. I mean, and again, like Nacho said, there are people with stacks of shards, stacks of players. Like yourself, you spent $14, you said, didn't you? So, and you've still got like top accounts and 100 levels and blah blah blah, this and that. You don't have to put money into it.
Yeah.
But there's nowhere does it say that they have to also give you a chance to get something. Again, they've got rights. They've paid to get this at champion. They've probably had to do certain things, so they might not be able to do.
Yeah, if everybody gonna become a free to play, we either gonna start seeing annoying ad cannot be skipped at for all the time in the game, or they are just gonna shut down the game because they cannot make any money. Like nothing is free in this world. I mean.
Yeah. I mean, I totally understand there's certain things like fusions and that where it should be reachable. You should be able to do it for free, right? You should be able to.
It is.
But nowhere does it say, or should you feel that you're missing out because of it, and you should, but you deserve it, or you should. There should be a chance to get it. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. It's their game. They can do what the hell they want, and you've got to lump it unless you want to put your hand in your pocket. and that's it.
Just for anybody out there who doesn't know, Jarec is actually on the verge of becoming an official content creator. So,
Well, maybe not.
yeah.
I've lost about 500 subs.
don't unsubscribe yet. Give him the chance.
Oh man.
Jay, what about you, man?
I totally understand. Like, I feel I'm kind of 50-50. I feel like personally like Jarec as well. The only thing is with Plarium, I wish, like, I understand there's more summoning events going on. I just like I think of myself as a free-to-play player, someone who comes into the game or saving, like, let's say it's saved, like, I'm very diligent, right? I've missed all the 10x's, didn't even do 2x, didn't even do guaranteed, whatever, Kira the ride, like, you just skip all that, right? And then you're like, oh, you see the newt. You know how many people probably pulled for that 10x newt? Because I know myself, I did it, but, like, people want another one. It's so strong, right? And we're thankful that Plarium even allowed us to have this type of fusion or this type of champions. But then you basically release all your load there, and then you have nothing. And then here comes an opportunity, like, wait, I could have got this, or a chance to get this new champion that I really, really would like for PvP, and you can't do it. Just that, even if it took extra time, like, as a free-to-play player, like, even if it took an extra 3 months, I think people would be a little bit more happier that you could get it, because that's usually what the difference in a lot of these gachas. Like, I play 2 other gachas, and it's all about time, right? People get exclusive now versus someone else. So I think people would have been a little bit happier if it was just something where you could get it now, or you could wait 3 months and then get her, right? And then people would be like, okay, well, at least I'll get her. I think that's where all the turmoil in the community is kind of going crazy. But at the same time, I kind of feel, you know, what Jarec is saying, like, hey, man, you're free to play. Like, it's how it is, you know?
But again, it's why can't I then feel I've got Xena and she's exclusive and I'm cool. That's great. I've got a champ that potentially thousands of other people won't be able to have. Why can't I feel kind of cool about that?
You have Ninja. You have Ninja. You have Rhonda.
Yeah.
You have Alexander. Even
So then,
Why can't you have more?
And you still get people kicking off about not having Ninja, but it's like, so what? I don't even use them anymore. I don't even use Ninja anymore. He's been power crept by Newt, who you could get on a fusion if you wanted to put the time in.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
Who cares? He sits in the vault now. He's got no gear on him. He sits in the vault. I see him now and again, you know, and I think, where can I put this guy? I think, I can't be asked. There's no point.
Yeah,
But so why can't I feel the same for Xena? Why can't I think, oh, do you know what? I'm going to get this champ and she's going to be really cool in the arena. And it's kind of cool that she's not going to be everywhere and everyone's going to get her. It kind of feels cool that I've got a champ that's a bit exclusive.
Okay. It looked like Gestal had something he wanted to say there.
So
I was just saying Ninja's good in Sand Devil, but
Yeah, and
he was
I think
asking
that,
for a spot.
Phantom 2.
I think that's pretty much up until now, when I just recently pulled my double newts. That's primarily when I was using him, is just stage 25. But now I don't anymore. I don't have to go through the pain of
your main argument against it, Blazin, is these free champions, and like I was saying, they've price anchored a lot of these exclusive champions at free. That's the problem. Okay, so now that they've made a step and say, okay, we're gonna have a pay to win champion, here you go. It's a problem. That's literally Bolster is way more of a problem than Xena will ever be in this game, and that's one of the most pay-to-win things you can freaking have. But nobody's saying, oh yeah, Bolster Pass bad, shut that stuff down.
No.
Yeah, I don't have Bolster, man.
Here's the thing, though. Bolster, you could at least get a 5-piece
You can't make sense.
Come on.
That's a cop-out. That's a straight cop-out.
No. Over time,
No.
you'll be able to accomplish that. Right?
Bullshit.
I don't care.
Bullshit.
It is 100%. Over time, you'll be able to accomplish
Kenpachi's acquired 30 pieces total. Okay, and if you started the game today or anything, you would have to wait years to get 6 more. Like to get 6 more passes where you get 5 pieces. That's not feasible. Okay, it literally doesn't exist for Kenpachi. He has one set, and it's a piece of shit set.
Bro. I able to put my bolster set. It's so bad, by the way. Like my role was, I use everything, rank rarity. I pray to God, whatever. It's so bad. I only able to put that on the Ursuga because she's massively thick stats. I mean, only Ursuga can have it. I really want to try something else.
Do you even have 110k on her in that set? You know what I mean?
I think I do because Ursuga, man, like doesn't matter. Even you give her an attack percent chest play, she's still gonna give it.
Yeah,
I'm curious to find out what the chat thinks. Whether it is such a problem, but I mean, again, it still gives you over time. If you have good luck to get it with Xena, you're gonna have to.
If you have good luck, you can get Xena on the 10x, motherfucker.
Yeah, true. I
mean, it's more likely to get Xena on the 10x than it is to get a viable bolster set. Are you kidding me? To get an HP percent chest, just an HP percent chest in bolster. Do you know what the odds are? Just that. Let alone a single substat on the piece. There's 7 main stats on the chest.
Speed subset too, man.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Let alone a substat or an ascension on the piece or a roll into any of that. Like, you are astronomically less likely to have a viable HP chest that you can use in bolster from these passes than you are to pull Xena from a 10x. Like,
I mean, we have boosted chances with the charms.
Yeah, even with the charms. Even with the charms.
But
RNG.
Yeah, Kenpachi just said it right there. It's all about RNG. It's all about.
I mean,
RNG.
Just look at the drop rate. Like just the drop rate. Boom, pow. There's your rate.
I have a short video on my YouTube. I was keep compliment about the Tenix, and there was like one other day with the Tenix Sifi, So somebody say that, hey bro, are you gonna open Tenix? And I said like, why, man? For today, I said, there is no difference for me during Tenix or no Tenix. Then chat keeps saying that, alright, I said to chat, okay guys, I'm gonna pull one void shard for you, which is I'm nowhere close to Mercy, and I got a Sifi. Literally, I got a Sifi. So what should I say now? Do I believe Tenix now? Hell no. Hell no. Before that, I got a Blaster on the Necret Tenix, I got a Jingwon on the Chris Tenix, I got a,
Oof.
Yeah, that's hurt. Anyway, like I got on the last 1+1 secret chart event during the Harima Tenix. You guys remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Like it was like 1 month ago. I opened 24 secret chart to get a Lego, and it wasn't Harima. Then I opened extra 7. I didn't get any extra Lego. Then on the next week or 2 weeks later, they did a 1+1 engine, no Tenix. I pulled my shot, and there we go, Harima there. Crazy luck. My second one, crazy.
Okay.
Just RNG.
Yeah, you're right. I still feel that the bolster set, isn't as pay to win because there's still other ways around it, but that we can have a little more of an in-depth discussion coming up when we have when we talk more about the forge passes. But one of the viewers is asking us, where did it go here? Speaking of the 10Xs, do you guys think they will ever change? Let's go with Kenpachi first. Do you think we'll ever see the end of 10X and maybe 25X?
I mean, if more people start talking about it, complimenting about it, they has to be. They are gonna do it. But if no one talking about it, if still whales are buying the chart during the 10x for Taras, they never gonna change it. So it's pretty simple. Like they are gonna look the numbers. Okay, people buying. All right, keep it. But it has to be at least 50x, like I said earlier.
50x.
Bro, there is 1 million champion in this game.
Yeah. Right now, it's like a 0.7% chance to get a 10x. It's abysmal. It's literally under 1%. Like, you need to at least 50 exit to bring it up to a 5% chance, like, or just under, to even begin the discussion.
Okay. So we'll go with Nacho next. Next, do you think they'll ever change it?
No. That's why we see Prism events. They're just gonna give us different events, like straight up. They're gonna like, especially with primals in the mix now too. Like you're gonna get another source of shards once they release this content, which is gonna be more Legos because the rates are much higher. You get Mercy system much sooner, etc., etc. So you're just gonna get more Legos in general on your account, and that's something that the whole game is based upon: is how many volume wise, how many champions are they giving you a month, especially for free. That's what the game's all based about. Okay, if they're giving you more champions, you're gonna make with less books, yeah, etc., etc. So,
Okay. I just want to welcome over to the YouTube side of the stream. We've got Mr. Mo and Buster's Choice, guys. Thank you for joining us. All right, Jarec, what about you? What do you think? Do you think they're going to change the 10x?
Just trying to think back to the interview with what's her name?
Cirilla.
Cirilla, isn't it? Cirilla. And
You're applying for the program and you don't know their names yet?
Cirilla. Yeah, I know Cirilla really well, actually. We're good friends. So she was talking about other ways, I think, of increasing their chances. So I don't think they're going to change the 10x. But whether they bring in a new mechanic, perhaps some of that. But I don't know. I can't see them. As Kenpachi said, if people are still buying packs and then spending those packs on 10x, then they're like, well, why should we change it? People are still doing it, and people are still hungry for it. If that dies down and they realise that it's gone, then they'll ask. They'll reach out to us. They'll reach out to the consecrators. They'll reach out to the community, and it'll be like, what's changed? Is it because the champions you don't like, or the chances? And then that's when they'll take notice. And then if people turn around and says, no, it's because the chances aren't good enough. There's too many champions in the pool. Then they go, okay, we'll look at changing it. And if it was the champions, then they go, okay, then we'll add more champions. I think that's the only way it's gonna happen. When they see the numbers drop, they'll then question what could be causing it. Is it because of the champions on the 10x, or is it the 10x itself? And then they'll possibly change it. But whilst the Krakens and the whales keep whaling and cracking in, then it's going to keep going.
Okay.
Simples.
Jay, what about you? Do you think they'll ever change?
No, I don't think they'll ever change. Because I remember a day when there wasn't 10x's, there wasn't 2x's every month. It was basically very sparse. They definitely changed a lot, and they have actually added a lot, right? Guaranteed champions or unique types of things like Deck of Fate to have guaranteed, or this fiery singles pack, event where it's like you could choose one specific thing, you could get a guarantee, but it's like you gotta have a lot of energy, or you gotta have a lot of shards, either one. So it's like, if you didn't go for Kaja, do you want to do this now? Did you not do the 10x Newt? Now you can do this. So it's like, they're teaching us to become a little bit more diligent, and people just want to do everything, right, FOMO? So that's the only problem. We've talked about this, I've noticed it's a reoccurring this year in general, because there's so many 10x events, so people are getting a little bit, you got to be a little bit more self-disciplined as a player, especially free-to-play now. You got to go, what's the most important thing right now that's going on right? Is this enough? Is there going to be something better a week from now? So that's the only thing I can say, is that definitely 10x is probably never going to change. I think what they should do, because this happens to me, sometimes I do get the 10x, right? Pull 2 sacreds, boom, got Newt. And I was like, what? Then sometimes I pull like 12 and get straight 12 epics. And I'm like, what the? So it's just RNG, but I think what they should do is, if you are going for a 10x, why not just increase the chance the next time? So this could incentivize people to be like, oh, well, now I have a 20x. I didn't get it the second time, I have a 30. So they could just do that. I think would be nice. They don't have to just go straight 20, 30x. We would love that as players, but they're probably not going to do it for business purposes. But why not add a system where, kind of like Mercy, I know we have that already, but just add it where if you didn't get the 10x during a 10x summon, that you could actually get a higher chance next time. So that way you don't get kicked. I've pulled 2 legendaries and didn't get the 10x, but sometimes I pull 1 and it's the exact same 10x from 1 shard. That's how I got my Harima.
Yeah.
I was like, what? A rando, pull got it. I couldn't believe it. And it wasn't even 2x sacred either. It was a random 10x. But it's just all RNG. I just wish they would do something like that to kind of incentivize,
Mate, it's funny you say that, Jay, honestly, because I've had it myself where I've gone for a champ, all in, not got him, and then randomly the next champ I get is that champ. You know, whether that is just pure luck or whether or not something in the background, in the computers, in the servers, or however it works in Plarium, it does that. Because I had someone else say to me, they did the times 10 for Mountain King or Rotus and they got Newt. And they were going for Newt as well. See what I mean? It's like, maybe there is something in the background that, you know, just slowly builds up. If you're going for a times 10, it could build in the background. But yeah, man, that's a good idea, man. You could get like a rollover. That's a sound idea, actually.
I think Spicy Brown Mustard said it the best way. Let's do a 10x Mercy, right? I think that would actually be pretty good, pretty solid right there.
A lot of gacha games have a banner system where like you pull 10 Legos this weekend, get this guy, or this month, whatever the fuck. It's very common. It's extremely common. Because especially once your champion pool becomes so large, it's one of the only ways to start targeting champions.
Yeah.
And people will spend for those events. They're like, oh, I don't have a Duchess. I could pull 500 Ancients this month and get her. You'd be surprised at how many people will start shelling $500 out. To be honest,
everyone without a Duchess.
A lot of people would. You know what I mean?
I want another one.
Even people that are like
2 or 3.
Right, that are right in that like that low to mid spend tier. That you know what I mean. They're like, I'll pull all my extra fun money for the next couple months and get the Duchess. You know, you'd be a tons of people. So those events are really successful, and a lot of other gacha games do it. So having a 10x Mercy or something like that is totally viable.
I remembered actually. I play, or I kind of like part time. I used to be quite heavily into it. It's like a little Transformers based defense game that you can get, and you kind of get the same thing. You get crystals, and you unlock all these Autobots and Decepticons and stuff, all different star ratings. And they've actually brought in a system where, if you're only getting 2 or 3 rated stars, and obviously you're trying to get the 4-star version, you get like little fragments of each time you get one. So if you get like a 2-star, you get like 5 fragments, or 2 fragments. If you get a 3-star, you get 3, 4, 6, whatever fragments. So then you're building it up. So the more times you get that duplicate, the more it builds up for you to then purchase that higher rated version that you want. You know what I mean? So they could do something like that. They could do if you keep getting champs from the Barbarian faction, you get a little pot that building up fragments from Barbarian, and then eventually gets to whatever, and you can pick a legendary champ or something like that, or something from a vast area that you haven't got. You know, obviously ones that you can get. They just shake these things up a bit, you know.
Yeah. All right, so let's kind of go into her skill kit. I mean, I've seen some gameplay. I really I think the last one I watched was Scratch's video, where he was showing some top end arena stuff, and her kit kind of has me a little meh. I don't know if I really want to invest to get her, but let's take a look at this real quick. Her A1 attacks one enemy 2 times, will ignore 3% of the target's defense for each buff on the target, will also ignore shield buffs if the target is under 2 or more buffs. So, okay. We get a 3% for every buff, double hitter, A1. Is that solid enough for her, or, should it have been more? Jarec.
I mean, I think because this champion, in my view, is the kind of anti-Sifi, anti-Duchess champ, right? She's the one that's going into arena to fight these ghost second teams, or these quick teams where they're getting all these buffs. So, I know it's the target. I know other skills obviously work out a bit better because it's against the team, but 3% to, probably. Of course, it probably could be, but it's an A1. I mean, it's an A1, and it's the skill that's going to be used more often. Perhaps if it had like a steal buff or a remove buff element to it, it might have been a bit better rather than just ignoring defense. But I think it.
Ignore shields.
Sorry, yeah.
No shield.
Yep. So ignores Necrit, ignores Bolster, things like
Mm. Yeah, I
Doesn't
think the only
ignore
problem is
Stoat
it
Skin,
does.
though.
No, and it doesn't hit quite as hard as a lot of double hitters do, which I think is the main big thing with it. But I think if it hit harder, then it would be perfect. It just doesn't hit quite as hard.
Okay. Gestal, what about you?
Yeah, I mean it's a A1. It's pretty solid. Ignore defense a little bit. If you got someone with 4 or 5 buffs on them, that's not looking too bad, I guess. Ignoring shields. Shield is a horrible, horrible thing to try to break through and do damage. So if you're ignoring that, it's actually pretty good. I don't know, A1s. I don't normally expect too much out of an A1, to be honest.
Okay. Ken, what about you?
It's very good skill actually. I don't know you guys got a chance to play with her. I got a play with her from my clanmate account. It wasn't even booked by the way. It was like very mediocre stat, like 5,000 attack, like 230 critical damage, stuff like that. Anyway, one thing I noticed from that A1 skill, it can kill the target under necret protection. Especially if it is like attack DPS champion. She can kill it.
Even
That's
through the
pretty
ally
solid.
protection?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, attack DPS. I repeat, attack DPS.
Okay.
I'm not sure like she cannot kill Duchess obviously under Necret protection, but yeah. Because Necret give like how many buff again? Like to target?
5.
I mean, Necrit gives 3.
3? Okay. Shield
So-
included, right?
Shield included, yeah. Yeah, because he brings
Okay,
strength
so-
in, ally protection, shield.
So
Nice.
9%
And
but
block
attack
debuff.
device, so yeah. Her multiplier actually pretty good guys. Like
She's
that
getting
A1
24.
that A1 is a 1.8 multiplier and attack device, so I'm okay with this A1. Pretty strong in my opinion.
Okay. Jay, what about you?
So I was able to fully book her, tested her out. Overall, I've learned some stuff about her. When we get to the A3, I'll talk a little bit more. But basically, for an A1, how good is it? It's a little conditional. I wish it would have been more, not just buffs. Her A2 says buffs and debuffs. That would have been a little bit better, because then it's not just conditional on what they have. What if you do to your enemy, right? So now Xena's not just a PvP champion. She can also be PvE as well. Like, let's say you're bringing tons of poison teams or maybe a lot of debuffs, versus a boss or waves. Now you can just one-shot enemies, right? Would have been pretty nice. But buffs, they don't really do that in PvE, right? So that only is a counter for PvP. I think she should have ignored at least another buff, like shield and maybe like ally protection would have been pretty good. But other than that, it's actually not bad. 3.6 in total, right? 1.8 times 2, 3.6. So it's not bad A1. I just feel like we were expecting a little bit more. And so people are, players are expecting, since she's behind this kind of paywall, they're like, oh man, she needs to be like 4.2 on the A1 and she needs to be like, but overall she's not bad when you look at all the multis, right? We'll get there, but overall for A1 I think it's good. I just think a little adjustment of damage, just a little on the A1.
Okay. Nacho, what about you?
So Spicy Brown actually took my thing here. Helicath A1 ignores shields and he's annoying because he does damage in arena. It's not just the block damage that's annoying. Otherwise we'd see champions like Tower coming in more. But we see specifically Helicath because he does damage. And he
Counterattack.
Yep, the counterattack constantly. He doesn't do a lot of damage though. So to compare the amount of damage that she has on the A1-2 Helicath is like you're not really gonna likely kill anybody. However, vice versa, like you're not gonna kill most good supports with an A1 on most nukers. There's like 2 in the game that are gonna, like Taurus isn't gonna kill a Duchess with his A1 from full HP. No chance. He might kill a Siphi if you're lucky and she's kind of squishy. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, a lot of your top end nukers, they're not killing supports with A1s anyways. So I think this is perfectly fine. It brings utility to it. So when you have champions that are trying to keep themselves alive under something cheeky like a shield, like a huge shield, like I used to run a Chris Brogny team with a Foley in it, and it would wreck people in 3v3. You know what I mean? Like my defense log would be all kinds of wins. However, if you had a Xena, you could just ignore that giant shield. Like it's going to be a shield team, etc., etc. Necrots are going to put shields, and they're probably not going to be in Stone Skin while they're under Necrot protection. So overall, I'm pretty happy with the A1.
So myself, I mean, I think instead of ignoring shields, if it ignored Stone Skin, I think that probably would have been a little bit better, because other than the
it doesn't ignore reaction.
No. Reaction's only 1 turn. Stone Skin now is 2 turns, right? Because unless you have, is it 2 turns?
Still doesn't.
Yeah.
Ignoring Stone Skin doesn't mean it ignores the damage mitigation of Stone Skin. Remember.
Fair, but it's. I feel like it's an A1 that ignores Stone Skin would be decent, right? So far, right now we have Georgia that ignores Stone Skin and a Lil. I think it's about time.
To be honest, like A1 ignore Stone Skin is kind of useless, because like you have to start the game with your A1 then.
Yeah, who's
like
gonna start
A3 or A2?
A1?
Like if it is A3 or A2 ignore Stone Skin, that makes sense. You can start with that. But like after like you are gonna use your A3, A2 against the Stone Skin, then under the Stone Skin, and you are not gonna deal damage. Then after they got out of Stone Skin, your skill gonna be on the cooldown, and you are gonna use A1, which is ignore Stone Skin, and again.
Yeah,
there are plenty.
Unless you're a blender team. Yeah, a speed blender team, it might be alright, but
okay.
There are plenty of times where I have just that little bit of sliver of life left on that UDK, and he, he's still there annoying after my Georgia goes, and my Georgia just smacks him. So I feel like something to help me deal with that little part right there would work out well, and that's why I said the A1. Huh?
Ship him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's talk about the A2. Attacks all enemies will ignore 5% of the target's defense for each buff on the target. Steals 20% of the champion. Steals 20% of the turn meter from each enemy. This effect cannot be resisted if they're under 2 buffs or more. All right. So this is a huge counter towards CFs. This is a huge counter towards anybody who has, more than 2 buffs to the team. We've got so many. Solid, yes or no? Nacho?
Oh, this is beautiful. As well, actually. So the stealing 80% turn, 20% times 4, so you can steal up to 80% turn meter. Any champion that you're faster than, you are also going to take another turn before they go. Because you're reducing them to 80% turn meter, you gain 80% turn meter. If you're faster, you're going. Flat out. So that's incredibly strong. Like taking 2 turns before their nuker, dummy strong.
Okay. Jarec?
Yeah, man, it's a brilliant A2, real good. As Nacho was saying, so many things going on. Turn meter stuff. I was watching. I think it was Hell Hades was doing his test on it, and it doesn't mean you're going to get straight to the next go or in front of anyone, but it boosts you straight up, and you're pretty much getting your 80 to 100%. And if she's fast enough, and a base speed of 100 is not too bad, and yeah, she's good. So she's hitting with that, and then she's rolled into the A3. Oh, it's great. It's great A2.
Okay. Jay, what about you?
So the multipliers are actually pretty good. A2 and A3 are actually 4.0. One's I think 4.1. But basically, this is a really good skill. It makes sense. Like you have options. You're not forced to use the A3. You're not like which is your strongest skill. But if you want to like control people, steal turn meter. And there's also the great part is not just 2 buffs. It's 2 buffs or debuffs. The only downside, of course, is the ignoring part doesn't have that debuff part there. I still think she should have had that. That would have been really cool. But stealing Terminator that doesn't have to, to build no accuracy on this champion, that's beautiful, right? We don't have to have like a ASCDD type of champion. You can just go straight damage, like straight attack, straight crit damage, crit rate. That's beauty. That's beautiful. I like it a lot. It's a 3-turn cooldown. You know me, I like 133s, but she's not 133. She's a 134. But because of that, we'll get to that skill. But overall, it's beautiful. I actually think it's really good as an A2, really balanced. And I just wish they would have just put the little condition of the ignoring defense on her skill kit to be debuffs as well. But other than that, it's great.
Okay. Ken, what about you?
It's a great skill. Like she can get like 80% Tormentor, like Nacho said earlier. And like, to be honest, like using A3 skill from beginning is not that good idea. Depends on the enemy team too. Like if you are going like speed team with the Sifi, I believe you can kill some people. Reaction still can be saved them. So maybe it's a smart idea to start with the A2, get a Tormentor boost, and you can also lower their HP a little bit. Then hop, you can smack them with the A3 skill, which is if you manage to kill 2. Okay, we are going to talk about that. Yeah, A2 skill is pretty cool. I really like it, and maybe no, this is actually, yeah, this skill can be useful on the Hydra as well, because it's also said 2 debuff, right? Yeah, it's saying like this effect cannot be resisted if the enemy is under 2 buff or the debuff. So can be useful on the Hydra as well. She can get a turn for the hard difficulty, I believe she's gonna be decent.
Okay. Let's see. Gestal, what about you?
Yeah, man, AoE ignores defense and steal Terminator. I see her, in live arena mostly, or arena. So gonna be huge. I haven't used her yet, so these guys have a little more experience with her, but I think sounds beautiful to me, man. I'm all about it.
I definitely am support. I'm pretty sure I asked everybody. Jarec, did I ask you?
Was that the A2? Yes, mate. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure. I'm trying to follow a certain pattern on the screens. But yeah, no, I definitely think that this one is solid. I wouldn't change anything about it. The stealing turn meter, I saw Scratch kind of play test that and was kind of just with a lockout champion, and I think he was right. Bashers, Warlords, Yumikos are gonna just come right into play with her, right? Especially for live arena. Not that they're already not OP enough, but you're gonna start seeing yourself finding a lot more lockout champions coming into play, and I think that's great. The A3 attacks all enemies, will ignore 10% of the target's defense for each buff on the target. Resets the cooldown if this skill kills 2 or more enemies. Let's start with Jay first.
All right. Really great skill. That's a lot of ignoring defense for each buff. Especially because people are going to wear Savage, Lethal already on her. Most people are going to put Helm Smashers on their nukers. And the fact that you can reset the skill of 2 or more. I usually kill about 2 or more. I've been doing some arena fights. Sometimes you only get 1 because UDK doesn't want to die, or whatever other champion there, the reviver or whatever. But you usually do get about 2. You're not going to get a 3 or 4. If you're getting 3 or 4, you have a really good a Xena. So, but in general, it's really strong. The only thing is, it's kind of I have a little bit love or hate relationship with this skill, because the multiplier is nice, right? Still another 4.0 plus. It's just you don't get extra ignore. Like our other nukers, right? Like I can name a few. Rotos on an A3 ignores 60. Wukong on his A2 ignores 50. Baron on a Skypiercer ignores 50. And you might be like, what? Well, these got 50, and other champions might even, like Errol has like a certain amount. If you stack the double hits as well, could be about 30 to 40, right? So this is like you have to have them to have buffs. They're gonna have buffs to a degree, right? But at the same time, when if you're going to go first and you're not using her like live arena to cut in on a Sifi, you're going to get 30%. But 30% is not like 50, right? Like we were just saying 50 and like I was saying 50 and 60. But here's another thing that I noticed that really counters this skill. is Harima. Because if Harima's there on defense and you're cutting in and say if he goes and there's a Harima on the team, now you get that 30 ignore, but the Harima has 50 ignore. So what? Now you basically have nothing. And I've noticed a lot that that's a huge counter to this A3 is that if there's no Harima, I kill one or two people and then I reset and then next turn I kill the other two people. I've noticed that. That's the only thing I can see about this skill. I wish player would have added 20% ignore, and then with each buff you ignore a little bit more. You wouldn't get all this confusion of, oh, she doesn't do enough damage. Oh, she does good damage. We have to have insane gear. Like, it would just be a balanced, out skill. But that's all I can say about it. Overall, I like the skill. It's just you have to have conditions for it to be really strong.
Okay. Jarec, what about you?
Yeah, it's exactly what Jay says. It's a really good skill. Does some really, really wicked damage. But again, it just depends who you find. She's not going to be replacing your top nuker that you use in every single fight. You're going to have to be a bit picky. I think if you want to use it, there's going to be certain comps that you can't. I think it was I was watching some with Surga, and I think Death Knight was there. I think Duchess was there. And she hits hard, but she just wasn't quite hitting that limit because of all the sort of bits that are, these champs are putting in to mitigate this damage. So that's the thing. I think it should be really good versus certain champs that are just your standard champs with none of these pucker passives that are mitigating damage. But you've got to be a bit picky. I think like Plat Arena, you're probably not going to see her that much in Plat. I think it's still in Gold 4, Gold 5. You're going to see a lot of her. I might even just take. Yeah, exactly. And as you say, she's again. But the thing is, if you pick her and then you see an Harima pop up, you're like, oh god, please ban my Xena. But it's, do you know what I mean? Again, this is the thing. It's with Live Arena, unless it's gold, I guess. But even then, yeah, if Harima pops up, you're screwed. But at least with the kind of PvE, fights like standard arena and 3v3, you can pick and choose who you're going to go against. But I think live arena, if you pick her and you're trying to lean on her as your main nuker, you might find yourself coming unstuck depending on who the other person picks.
Okay. Nacho, what about you?
So yeah, she doesn't fall under the general use nuker category for me. So it's not going to be like your Tauruses and your Wukongs are significantly stronger. Like you can build teams around them, right? We're picking Xena to counter other things specifically. Okay, so she has to be tailored to doing that, right? So it's okay if she's not gonna be a hard carry on an account as long as she does her job well, right? That's fine. Especially the later into the game you get, the more nuclear options you get, you need them to actually have utility, not just do damage. The amount of nukers that I'm looking at that just do raw damage anymore is very, very few. I'm either looking for ones that are block reviving, giving me, Taurus hitting. Taurus is probably my one that I'm just like, hit hard. You can go over the top of so much stuff. But almost every other Rhonda, even using her for her A2 to stop a lot of things. Like you are bringing Rhodos, you're bringing him in for his passive, his his A1 extra turns. Like there are utility within their kit that either bring you eventuality to a fight to win it, or enable you to like stop their nukers or stop their supports in a meaningful way. So I'm really glad that she starts to do that. But the A3 in particular, it's like kind of underwhelmed with it, to be honest. I'm much more excited about the A2 and the way that it sets her up, but the A3 is kind of like could be slightly better, slightly. Like one more thing on it, I'd like it a lot.
Okay. Kenpachi, what about you?
I'm okay with the A3. Like to be honest, like again, like if you have to use her against the correct comp, like if you make her like fast champion, if you have a speed team. Before the enemy team got a turn, like if you are using this A3 skill, obviously it's not gonna help you. She's more go second champion. I know she's attack based, but from her passive skill, this is where the you can make a combo. So obviously you cannot ask every single champion to counter every single meta in the game. Obviously some champion gonna be weak against something like Rotos is great champion, right? But what Rotos can do against Ultimate Death Knight? Nothing, for example. Like otherwise, there is gonna be a problem called the Taras Maricha. So I really don't want any
Not
other
a
problem
problem.
like that, especially behind the paywall. That will make me more upset. Like I watched some videos from a content creator. They said she cannot kill Taras Maricha. That's good. I don't want Taras Maricha solution is $40. I want a solution. It's something I can pull. So it's a good thing. It's not OP.
Hey, you can't pull her on a 10x.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, okay. So I'm okay with the A3 skill. Totally fine for me.
Gestal, what about you?
Yeah, I don't know. It seems to fit the kit nicely. Obviously, Steel Terminator with the 2, and then this sets this up. We'll do some damage. Could set this up to then knock some people down and reset stuff. So I think it works well. It seems to line up well with the kit. Again, I haven't used it as these guys have. But ignore defense is good, and conditional stuff obviously. Based on how many buffs are there, and then if you kill someone for things to actually happen. But I think it fits in the kit well.
Okay.
Yeah. I think, sorry, but I say if there's one thing I'd like to change, it would be, again, if like the guys have said, if it could also include debuffs, because again, I was thinking I've been using my Ramentu quite a lot now actually in 3v3 and that sort of stuff. I think if he can lock out Harima with her passive, brilliant. But obviously, then you're losing out on damage because you're not getting these buffs. So it's just a weird one. But again, is that asking too much? Is that making them all too OP? That sort of stuff, But then that could have brought Madame back in. But I know you obviously you've still got sheep. But I know there's a lot of people out there that don't have enough accuracy for sheep anyway. So I don't know. I think there's a few things they could have done into this. Let's say, adding the debuffs that might have brought a few other champs back in, like the buff strippers and that sort of thing. But there we are.
Okay. My only gripe with this one is it's on a 4-turn cooldown. It's not broken, so I feel like a 3-turn cooldown would have been decent. But yeah, again, to Jarek's point, is that asking for too much? We have a lot of nukers that are on a 3-turn cooldown, and she honestly isn't game breaking for you. So I feel like a 3-turn cooldown isn't, too much to ask for. So before we go too far, I just want to mention to everybody, today is the last day for the giveaway to be entered in for you to win a legendary skill tome, a rank 4 chicken, 150 energy, 300,000 silver, and 100 multi-battles, because we came in third for the Content Creator Spooktober. So the link that I just posted, if you go there and drop your UMID, we'll be pulling that probably in about 20 minutes. So, if you're interested in trying to win any of that stuff, just go drop your UMID there. All right. Now let's talk about her passive, and kind of long. The first part of her passive increases this champion's attack by 10% every time they use an active skill, stacks up to 100%, resets each round. Also has a 50% chance of randomly changing this champion's weak hit into normal, strong, or critical. The chances increase to 100% when the enemies are under 2 or more debuffs. This part of the skill, could this or should this be reworked? Let's start with Nacho first.
No, I love it actually. One of the biggest things to start taking into consideration when talking about endgame arena is eventuality in a fight. That's why Rotos is so scary. Even with the UDK in your team, like you can't stall forever. Rotos is gonna kill you. Once he scales his HP up, his A3 is gonna start block reviving, the whole thing. Like he brings eventuality to a fight. So if you can't kill me right now, I need to be able to kill you later. You know what I mean? Either by reducing your max HP, like in Nithwi, like I was just saying, Rotos, same kind of thing. He scales himself. He also reduces your max HP. You need to bring something. So either or a one ability that's just gonna nuke somebody down, dead for sure. Like it's the only way to make you viable at this point in the game. So.
Okay. Gestal, what about you?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, it gives her kind of like that Harima-esque, like it's gonna do more damage over time. Kind of ramps up, and then as Nacho just said, being able to kind of turn those weak hits into strong hits, or not. You're not gonna be afraid picking her into into off affinities as much as you would, say, like a Rotos into a Harima or something. So it brings her a little more versatility, and I think that's what it just gives her a little step up to that you're gonna want to take her into a live arena match.
Okay. Ken, what about you?
Specific Hunter. It's like they should be rename it. They should be called the Specific Hunter. It's very clear. I mean, Arbiter not gonna work because she's on the custom one buff. Duchess, I mean, there is no speed Duchess faster than your speed team, I assuming. Hopefully not. Then it makes you are very slow. It's a Siphi counter, like, and she's countering very well, by the way. Like, literally, from my test, she's cutting. Like, literally, after the Siphi, she's getting a turn. No one cutting her in my test. But again, like, I didn't test too much. I only test, like, my Weaver account. Nobody else cut in. There was a team with Valkyrie, Siphi Valkyrie. They actually cut in. I think Valkyrie passive is proc there because she cast an increase attack herself. That's why I said like she can be very solid on the go second team as well, because it's like a Heprak passive skill. You know, like if they kill somebody on your team, Heprak gonna cast increase attack, then gonna smack you. Gonna get the turn, right? And yeah, she's countering Siphi very well. Actually, I really like it. Start with the A2 skill first, get some Terminator boost, then smack with the A3.
Okay. Jarec, what about you?
Exactly what Ken said. It is the perfect anti-Siphi, cutting in, smacking some people down. I mean, you could be crafty. You could put in some, depending on what you gear out. I mean, I think you don't always have to just put her in Savage and Cruel. You could put her in something like a stun set, a day set, or a provoke set. So as soon as Siphi casts her buffs, admittedly, I guess that's not going to work, is it? Because it's she does the bloody block buffs. But do you know what I mean? You could. I'm sure there's some way or some champ you could put in just to be a bit sneaky, because no one's going to think about that. No one's going to think that you're bringing Xena in with something like that. Get something that's kitted out that's going to interrupt their sort of setup. But yeah, obviously, block buffs is going to get in the way. But no, there's things. It just means that it just gives you a little. Well, again, if they see it, they might not cast Siphi's. You know what I mean? They might hold off on their A2 and just cast, try to A1 just to dodge it, just to try and buy their team a bit more time. So yeah, it's good. It's a great passive, and it's going to make them think, I think, about, especially in live arena, what they're going to actually click on next.
Okay. Jay, what about you?
So honestly, that's mainly the main reason why people going for her, right? The passive sounds pretty cool. It's like Affinity Breaker, under conditions. It's stacking up attack, kind of like a ninja, or what's his name, Vrask, I think his name is, in Orcs. And it's a unique passive. Once again, another champion with a very unique passive that can cut in. It works on a lot of things, actually. It works on UDK, Duchess, Siphi, but it's mainly a Siphi counter. Anything that's 2 buffs or more, because 2 times 4 is 8, right? And it is a 3-turn cooldown, so as long as she's not dying and reviving, if you're able to keep her up, you can still get that thing going pretty often. So I like it a lot, but I've been testing her out on both, kind of like Live Arena and Classic. Do I just use her like in a go first team? How am I doing? She's a decent nuker, because get the attack from Arbiter, combine it with another booster, and then just shoot them. I usually kill about 1 or 2 people even without having having too many buffs. But when there's bolster, of course, you can't kill anybody, or Harima, I've noticed. But in terms of the passive, I like it a lot. I think it's very interesting. I just, you know, I wish like I said with the rest of the kit, I wish it would have had more debuffs in the ignoring part. Because think about that increased attack. Think about like Clan Boss, how it would have like she would start ignoring like tons of defense. She probably wouldn't be one of the most in long extended fights like Hydra, Clan Boss. She would have probably one of the biggest damage champions. But maybe they thought of that and they didn't want to put that there in terms of debuffs on like the ignore defense part. But other than that, I think she's an interesting champion, and I'm playing around. I like her. I just think like she's an extra little sneak pick. Like I mainly use 3 champions, but now I have this 4th one where they don't know that I might have it or not, and I just snuck it in. Like I use Harima right now while we were talking here on stream, and I just threw her in, and they had to choose. Man, am I gonna ban Xena? Or am I going to ban this Harima? So they banned something else actually, Warlord. But it's just sneaky. You have to think ahead of time. Now they like in the meta, they're going to have that. Also, I just realized if you do have this to counter Siphi, can Siphi just technically sleep her, and then Xena can't actually like attack her, right? So yeah.
Yep. Okay.
The anti Siphi Xena anti Siphi.
Yeah, they're just going to be each other's mortal enemies.
Yeah.
The first part of her passive, the passive effect part, I kind of like that. It works a lot like a ninja over time, especially for like clan boss and stuff. So I feel like that would work out well there, especially because it's not going to mess up with any speed tunes for clan boss. Now, the second part, which I feel is just a little, maybe too broken, right? The active effect fills this champion's turn meter by 100% and places a 50% increased attack buff on this champion for 1 turn whenever 8 or more buffs are placed on an enemy with a single turn. Now, maybe you guys can answer this. I'm not sure if the active part of her kit is on a 3-turn cooldown. Does anybody know that? It is
active part.
Okay. So the active, so
Like,
both the passive
Fill
and
in Tormentor
active.
when they get 8 buff is the 3-turn cooldown.
Okay. So they can still have that. Now, if we're talking about champions that you pair her with, like a Shu Zhen, I feel like this might be a problem. Because you could build her really slow in Stone Skin, give her a 2-turn Stone Skin, have her go against the Siphi, then bring in Shu Zhen, and then just kind of wipe the floor with them. I don't know. Am I wrong? Is that active effect not broken? Nacho?
Well, of course, this is the part that carries her kit. The main other complaint from every single person is she's not strong enough. Well, this is the strong part in her kit. This is why she's becomes a utility nuker. Okay, like if this is not strong, why would you pay $40 for the champion? And if all the other abilities are stronger, like Jarec said or somebody else said, Sauce, like then you're gonna complain that they put an even more broken champion behind a paywall. You know what I mean? So this is the only thing that she does, really. Like, her nukes are more on the average side, so, like, she has to have a really good passive. And the fact that she can't just go into everything is great. We don't need more Tauruses in the game. We need situational nukers. So.
Okay. Malika, just be happy I didn't make Nacho a mod. Although, maybe I should give these guys mod streams over Twitch. All right, let's go, Jarec. What do you think? Is it broken?
I don't know, man. I mean, how many people got shoes in? Really? I mean, I've missed out. Trying to go for the other day. But this is the game. It's the game, man. There's cleverer people out there than me that play this game and can put these combos together. It's not something your average person's going to do. They're just going to build her up as best they can and hope the passive gets a nice slap in and they do some damage. And so I don't know, man. But again, as Nacho says, it's anything else. It wouldn't be worth it. What would be the point? It's what makes her kind of cool. And I think player have known what they've done. They've known that she is exactly, in to counter the Sifis and those sort of champs. And without that, what else is she going to bring? Nothing really. Nothing that any other champ that I've got at the moment could do better. So that passive, which steps in and allows you to cut in before anything else tries to kick off, good. Why not? That's great. This gives me a chance to slap someone down. They could have, see if he goes. Suddenly they've got, Candy. He's invisible. He's got 6 buffs on him. Boom, she goes. He's dead. What are they going to do now?
Okay.
So that's it. Without that, you're not doing anything. There's no point having on the team.
Okay. Jay, what about you? What do you think?
So after quite testing a decent amount of testing, I've actually noticed it's not broken. No, you can still get cut in, even if they go first. Like Siffy goes, then I cut in. Oh, nope, I still got locked out by Warlord or Yumeko. I'm like, oh man. So it's not really that strong. It would have been broken or stronger if it was fill turn meter to max, right? Then you literally go, sweet, it's my turn, no matter how much speed my enemy has, no matter what conditions they have, passives, anything, I get to cut in, I get to blow, one shot the Warlord or Yumeko before they even get to lock me out, before anything else, let's say they have a double booster and they're not using Yumeko, then you'd be able to still kill their, like say, Siffy Arbiter, right? Like as another common one, you'd be able to stop the Arbiter before she even gives even more buffs or whatever in turn meter. Does it happen a lot? It does actually happen a lot. So I do cut in, but it's not all the time. What I like about it, the passive, is that you can build your champion slow, right? You don't have to. People are now building like nukers, especially for live arena and stuff, like 190 to 220. Some people are even faster. The cool thing is you could have this champion basically like I have her like around right now like 150. Most of my nukers from Baron all the way to Wukong to her are from 125 to 160. Why do I do that? Well, because they have, most people are gonna have multiple stone skins. By the time that champion takes 2 turns, my nuker literally goes right after them and they get one shot because they have no more stone skin. Now, if I'm doing stuff with like timid or other stuff or buff strips or that's a whole different situation. But if I'm not, that's the only thing I can say though. She has nothing to protect her. So even though it's cool that she cuts in and she has all this increased attack and 100% turn meter fill, she is squishy. So if you don't have Necrit, if you don't have anyone to protect this champion like a Duchess, man, she just falls over and over and over. Wukong comes back for free. I used Baron for a while and it was annoying and I had to switch. I went over to Wukong because it's not even worth it. So I went over him, but I like her. I don't think, no, it's definitely not broken. It's nice, but it's not broken at all.
Okay, let's go with Ken next.
Before that, can I ask the Jay something real quickly?
Yeah, go for
Jay,
it.
you said Warlord Yumeko cut you in, right? Like, is this team has anything else to boost their Terminator, like second Terminator booster or maybe Valkyrie?
No, so like I was saying, like if you build your
Siffy?
like Siffy went first, right? So like I said, most of my nukers are slower. So that means if I had, let's say, a warrior, Xena like around 210, I probably would have been in front of their lockout champion. But because I like to use champions that are slower, like 150, 160 speed, I sometimes, not all the time, I do cut in, sometimes, but most of the time you're going to get locked out. And you can't even one-shot everybody because you have no more skills to use. So I've noticed that personally using Xena. But it's just really still a good champion to use against Siffy. You just have to, in the pick and ban situation, take out their lockout champion. That way you can literally go second before their next whatever champion is, and then you kill 2 people, get the A3 to reset, or A2, whichever you want to do, and then So overall, she does what she does good. It's just you have to know the ins and outs of what her weakness is, right? She's squishy. You have to have a little bit more speed, and you also have to know what the enemy is going to do after Siffy buffs. That's the only three things I can say overall from testing.
Okay, that's a good confirmation because from my test, she always got in, like, after the Siffy, she was get a turn, unless, like I mentioned, there's a Valkyrie or something like that. But maybe the enemy team, Warlord or Yumeko, was a little bit slow, so that's why she's cut in. So it's a little bit not that great then, if the enemy team is a Lockout champion. You know, like I always say, like Jingwon is amazing champion. If the enemy team is a Arbiter Kaimar, Sifi Kaimar, but not Lockout, not Romanto stuff like that, because they are gonna cut your Jingwon. You cannot deal with it. So it's kind of like same scenario. She's only gonna be against Sifi niche, but Sifi team, but without something else, you know, like no lockout or stuff like that. Because against the lockout, no, she's gonna do nothing. Like she's gonna use A1 skill, which is gonna do nothing. So no, it's not broken to be honest. Especially after the J said that lockout champion is still gonna do their thing. You mentioned like Shuzan. I mean Shuzan. If the specific champion you are using specific champion with specific champion, and if they are combo together gonna make them decent broken, it's fine in my opinion. You know, like there is like couple champion literally in the game, Cupidus Venus, Taras Maricha, stuff like that. You know, like Shuzan is the Void legendary champion. If you have her, sure you can abuse them together if you want. Your tactic was actually good if you can give her like stone skin, so kinda she can get kinda protected against my Arix, because otherwise I don't give anything about Shuzan team. Like I put some screenshot recently on your channel. Maybe you can see that Shuzan Georgette. I mean guys, Shuzan Georgette doesn't miss. He's gonna one shot your ultimate Death Knight. Doesn't matter. Like if the reaction proc, he will not. So then I'm just gonna use my Arix A1 and the Georgette dead. Forever. If they have a reviver, I'm gonna kill him again. So, for example, this is the bad thing about attack nuker. This is why I am not using attack nuker anymore. I literally retired my Kendofron. He can't. I never see he's doing normal attack on the Duchess, stuff like that. So I'm more like HP nuker, defense nuker, special live arena, or the champion who has utility like Rotos. You know, like Rotos cannot get one shot. Like this lady is good, but like I said, like she's against Sifi go second without lockout champion. With the Necret you can use her anywhere with the Necret, but without Necret it's hard to keep her alive. So yeah, it's not broken, it's not OP, perfect balance in my opinion.
Okay, Gestal, what about you?
Well, I actually just witnessed it firsthand and against me because I don't have her yet. And she cut in after my Siffy buffed everybody up. She cut in and then did nothing. Like she didn't have near enough damage, and you know, I have all these buffs up and stuff. She like basically tickled me, and then I dropped the Taurus bomb on him. So I think like if you like the guy didn't build the team the guy had out there was honestly a little absurd, but the I think built correct, like have a team built around it correctly, I think it could work out really well. So yeah, you know, I think it's cool. I like it. I don't think it's OP. I think if you can kind of finagle some things, I think it could be really, really good. But you know, if she's gonna like having her cut in isn't great, like as like a Valkyrie cutting in, because she's putting up, you know, the huge shield could put like a big damage out there if you built her that way. So yeah, I don't think it's OP.
So sorry, I just had my mic muted because my wife is vacuuming next door. So one of the viewers is asking us, can Xena be used in other places other than Arena? Have you guys tested her out anywhere else? Let's start with Ken first.
I didn't test her outside of Arena. I only tested her like maybe 30 minutes. Again, like she wasn't even booked. So, but Hydra, she can be useful on the Hydra. I mean, if you are really, really early game, you can use her anywhere, even your dungeon. It's really up to you. 3 versus 3, live arena, normal arena, obviously the main part. But Hydra, she can be decent on the hard difficulty. And she has some decent abilities, especially A2 skill, like giving her Tormentor boost, Triton cooldown. So.
Okay. Nacho, what about you?
I mean, not really. She's not going to specialize anywhere else. There's not a single boss in which she's going to be better than any other champion that does damage. She doesn't bring anything in particular for most bosses. So not really her primary place is gonna be arena. And if you're using other places, it's like you could probably use a Royal Guard to the same capacity, to be honest. So.
Okay. Gestal?
Yeah, I mean, the only thought I've had is arena. I don't see anywhere else I would use her.
Okay. Jarec, what about you?
She can do some good wave clearing, Doom Tower and stuff like that. But I think again, I was watching. I've not really had a chance to test her again because I'm not on a test server. I've got to wait for 20 days. But I was watching Hill Hades. He was doing some stuff, and yeah, she was doing some pretty solid wave clearing. I think he had it in like Relentless as well. It wasn't like Savage and Cruel and stuff. And yeah, he was smashing through Dungeon 20 on Dragon. A few of the levels in Doom Tower Hard. Yeah, because she was stealing the turn meter, so she was whacking the guys and going back around again, and then doing the A3 and just kind of blitzing them. Obviously, you know, as it gets a bit harder, you might struggle a bit, but you know, she could be used there. But as Nacho said, Royal Guard probably does just as good a job, and you know, you wouldn't really specialise in building her else outside of Hydra or Arena. She'd probably be mainly focused on Arena. I think she could be fun in Hydra, but no, I don't think she's worth replacing any other champ in any other place really at the moment that I've till I get my hands on. I can't say for definite, but I think no.
Okay. Jay, what about you?
Overall, she's pretty much Arena. In PvE, she's just going to be an additional champion. And the reason for that is because like I said, her ignoring defense part does not have the debuff part. If it did like buff and debuff, she'd be nuts. Like, okay, cool, I bring 8 debuffs or 10. You're telling me I'm ignoring 80% or 100% of all these waves defense? That's crazy. A3, cool, resets. Next round, I don't need a Kymar to reset my nuker. Just reset the debuffers and then go again. Would have been amazing, right? She could have been like this weird kind of version of a attack seer where you actually have to build attack, right? But overall, people are going to use her maybe as a campaign farmer if you're early game, mid game, because you could basically guarantee the A3 to reset and you just go boom, boom, boom. But I have noticed the animations on the A3 are a little bit slower than what people wanted. So it's like an extra 1 to 2 seconds slower than would have been nice. So she's not going to be a 6-second farmer in campaign, which is sad, right? In terms of clan boss, they've shown like other content creators have shown she's okay, but she's nothing insane. You know, people are going to use Newt or other champions. Like I said, she's a secondary like champion. She's not your main nuker. She's not your main go-to. She's going to be something extra. That's, you know, even in PvP as well. Unfortunately, I don't think she's going to be a PvE monster. You might be able to use her in some situations, like Jarec was saying in Doom Tower. But once again, they have to have buffs, right? And you can't force. I can't like make mimic buffs, right? And make my enemies have like 8 buffs, and then all of a sudden, yay, these buffs are technically not real. It would be cool to have a champion like that. You could combo with Xena, right? And then boom, you could make her really use her kit. But unfortunately, since that's not a thing, she's going to be pretty much just a PvP champion, not really PvE.
Okay, so she's your side piece, not your main piece.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So before I let you guys go, I did promise everybody we would do the winner for the Spooktober event. So I gave everybody some time to go in and pull or put their UMID. Did you guys go and put in your UMID? Anybody? Any of you guys? No? No one wants a legendary book?
I did.
I'll let the viewers win it, man. I don't need to win.
Yeah.
It's for them. Like,
all right. So
how rigged would that be if one of us won? That'd be like outrageous, wouldn't it? Imagine that. Hey, Jay's won. Oh, what? You needed that book as well.
Well, I mean, I do have 5, so let's see. We got Ken, Gestal, Nacho, Jarec, Jay. Hey, 5 right there.
Sorted.
No, we you guys won. All right, so we did put the video in. Let's go ahead and let's see. filter duplicate users. No, we can't do that because they added. We got to pick comments. All right, let's go ahead and pick the comments out. We got 26 unique comments. I can't sort by code word, right? No. Okay. All right, so we pick 5 winners, right? Let's see who gets some free goodies. So 8 plus 6 is 14. Real math. Okay. Here we go. First winner is going to be not me. All right, let's go.
Pre-recorded.
Wow.
It's not rigged.
Someone just clip that, yeah?
Okay, Jarec Gaming.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Can we get somebody else? Let's
Oh
go
my
ahead.
god.
It's not rigged, guys. I promise. It is a random generator. All right.
Oh, man.
Ahmed Abbas was the first winner. So we will be giving him a legendary skill tome, a 4-star chicken, 150 energy, 300,000 silver, and 100 multi-battles. Right, let's pick another winner. We got 4 more to give out. Stephen Rule, he is actually opted out of this, so we skip him. Pick another winner. All right, Gene. Gene is also going to be getting some free goodies. All right. Let's go ahead and pick out our third winner. All right, Savvy Gadgets is our third winner. Let's go with our fourth. Mr. Happy. Congratulations, sir. You are the fourth winner. Now we have the last and final one. Here we go. Who is it going to be? All right, Benny Lou Jr. All right, guys. So you will be getting some goodies. Again, you're going to be getting 1 legendary skill tome. You will be getting the 4-star chicken, 150 energy, 300,000 silver, and 100 multi-battles. Thank you guys for the support on this video. Thank you for commenting. And, you know, hopefully the next one we get to win. Before I let everybody go for today, though, let's get our shout outs. Let's start with Nacho first.
Oh man, you're gonna put me on the spot like that. No, I'm gonna shout out the Twitch community for welcoming you for your first stream on Twitch with the podcast. There you go.
All right. All right.
Just like that.
Jarec, what about you?
It's going to go out to my man Carvin. He's one of my subs, and he's frequently commenting on my posts and bits and bobs, and his dry humour and stuff always brings a smile. So that's for you, my man. Thanks very much for the support. Appreciate it.
Okay. Jay, what about you? Who's your shout out?
My shout out's going to Biohack because he built out the Kaj of the Right and Timmy because everyone thought we were fools for building them.
I'm pretty sure, Jay, you are a fool, but you want 2 Timid the Fools.
Yeah, one a nuker and one ASTD.
I don't think I'd build more than one.
You're not built
Gestal,
different.
Shout out my man PJ, MXPJE over there on the Twitches, man. Awesome dude, streaming all the time. Go check him out.
okay. Ken, what about you?
My list a little bit long. I like to shout out ladies of the raid. First of all, Daffodil Litley, Andis A. Ray, Hilary Ann, Layla Fox Nation, Spider Lily, and Ivy Gaming. She's not playing raid anymore, but she was also come from there. And let's also not forget the Ace Gonzo.
Well, I was gonna actually shout out Ace, but since you took that away from me, I'm actually gonna shout out a longtime viewer, Being Useless over on YouTube, and then over on Discord, I know him as Plays It Up. Guy's been following me for a very long time. I literally, if a day goes by that I don't hear from him, I know something's up. And so shout out to him. You know, I actually have him watch every one of my videos that you guys see, other than anything that has an embargo, goes through him before I release it because I want the feedback if I should edit anything out. So, all right, let's talk about what are your plans for next week. Let's start with Jay first.
Actually, I just been using up all my energy right now. I still have 11,000, so I'm just doing the tournaments and events that are going on. This is the first time I've ever spent like 50,000 energy. I went pretty hard on all these events. And pretty much just going to be working on Lady Mikage. I still got to get these champions to you got to get them ranked up. You can't just have them, right? So you got to get them up to be fused out for her. And just preparing for this bigger than Doom Tower, man. I'm super. There's got hope. I'm just so excited, honestly. I'm so excited.
Okay. Jarec, what are your plans for the week?
I don't know. I've just done a champ training, actually. Got the other skin for my other Trunda. So we'll... I don't know. I've got Lady Quillen, so I could do Lady Mikage, but I'll probably wait for a champ chase before I pull that in. What else is going on? So my Golem's a little bit of retaliation stuff going on, but I don't know, man. I'm trying to dial it back a bit on all the stuff, really. Just trying to pick and choose the stuff that I need. And to be honest, I've realised that I need more gear on the on my champs. Actually, so I don't know if you saw my little community post on YouTube earlier. I've got a quad roll. Speed.
Yeah,
what is it?
I saw that.
Divine speed. Oh man, divine speed quad roll.
Censored.
Man, it was nice, man. So yeah, that's the sort of stuff I need to be getting. So yeah, we'll see if I can get more of that. But apart from that, just a BAU, mate.
Okay. Nacho, what about you?
You'll never guess. Man, spending some time with my dogs.
Okay.
Other than that, it's getting close to winter, so I got to make sure to get them out for a couple good walks because I don't walk them miles in the snow. That's too much work.
Just get a what are they called? The thing for the Huskies. Where they
A
have
treadmill.
A sleigh.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Come on, guys, let's go.
Gestal, what about you?
I need to get that castigator and ice golem, man, to get to have everything ready for Mikage. So, ice golem, that's what I'm running.
Okay, Ken.
Don't have any specific plan on my account, but I think next week we are going to be busy about what next on the raid video. I believe it's going to be released next week. I have a high hope about that. And by the way, you guys didn't see new mythical champion? We didn't talk about them.
New mythical.
That's next week.
Yeah, two of them. There's
mythical
two new
champions.
mythical. Yeah, it's a data leak. They are on the game right now. One from Lizardman, the other one from Dark Elf, I think.
They're in the game.
I mean, you can't see that, but if you data mine it, you can see it.
Oh.
So
Yeah. I was waiting them actually like last week, but no, it didn't happen.
There's
I
a
don't know.
reason we can't talk about those because as official creators.
No, we can. We can. I asked them. We can talk about leak stuff.
Okay.
They
Alright,
also
if it
made
was-
a video about them, by the way.
Okay.
If
All
official
the
systems
table.
are making video about them.
I'm always a little skeptical about that stuff because it's like there's a borderline there and I don't want to touch it.
Okay, all right.
But we will be discussing those next week then, as long as we've got confirmation that we can. So, all right. As always, guys, much love, much appreciation. Be safe, be well, and we will catch you guys all next week. See ya.